Today we're going to make ourselves a study sheet so that we can practice and use the concepts of energy and thermal energy and prepare really quickly for our test. So first thing is on this big study sheet, you notice that we've made ourselves a bunch of boxes. You have this in a PDF that you can print out, or if you want to, if you can't print it out and you just want to do it on notebook paper, that's fine too. But just kind of follow along with me and we'll organize our ideas. So our big idea is energy, and energy is the ability to do work. So we can look at different types of energy, we can look at how it behaves, we can look at some energy rules. But energy, no matter what we're talking about, we are measuring it, measured in joules. Joules, joules. Okay, we can transfer energy, whether it's thermal energy or later when we get into electrical energy, we can transfer it through either conductors, and through conductors it transfers very easily. And that example, that would be metals, whether it's electrical or thermal, both of them, metals transfer very easily. Or it could try to transfer through insulators, and it's very difficult to transfer through insulators. Examples of insulators would be possibly plastic or rubber. Those do not allow energy to transfer very easily. Okay, some rules for energy. First thing that we talked about was how work is the ability to do, in order to do work, we have to have energy, and then once we do work, we have changed the energy of something, and that is our work energy theorem. Okay, our work energy theorem. I'm going to abbreviate so it all fits in a little box. You can write it out if you need to, but we must have energy to do work. And then doing work changes the energy. Okay, and that's how I got it to all fit in that box. So we need to remind ourselves, work, from right before Christmas, we talked about work is force times distance. Okay, we apply a force, it moves a certain distance, therefore work is done. And just to kind of remind ourselves, power is work over time, or the rate at which we're able to do work. Okay, another rule is the law of conservation of energy. Okay, and the law of conservation energy says that it's not created nor destroyed. It just changes. Okay, so it changes form from one type to another. But it doesn't come from nowhere, it doesn't go nowhere, it's all got to come from somewhere, and it's going to go somewhere, whether that's heat energy, electrical energy, whatever it may be. Okay, so speaking of types, let's talk about types of energy. That's going to be this circle right here. So types of energy, main ones are potential and kinetic. Okay, kinetic energy is the energy of motion. And if we're talking about the kinetic energy of an object, whether that's a car or a soccer ball or whatever, kinetic energy is found by taking 1/2 the mass times the velocity squared. Okay, a couple types of kinetic energy. Electrical energy is the movement of electrons, or we could say of charge, movement of charge, charged particles. And we'll get to those soon. That's to be continued. We're going to keep working on that one. What we did work on is thermal energy. And thermal energy is the movement of atoms or molecules. Okay. So a couple of things about thermal energy. Your thermal energy, which we call heat. Heat moves from where there's a lot of energy, so high temp, okay, lots of thermal energy, to where you don't have as much. Okay, it's always going to flow from where you have lots of thermal energy to where you don't have very much thermal energy. And how does it flow? Well, there's a couple of ways we can transfer thermal energy. So transferred. We can transfer it through conduction, which I think of the D in conduction as the word direct. You're directly touching something. It's transferred through touch. Convection, and I think of the word vent when I think of convection, that V in convection, because vents, I think of air vents or water vents. You are moving fluids. And then finally, radiation. I think of the ray in radiation, and think of the sun's rays or the heat rays coming off of a campfire or whatnot. No matter actually moves, it's just radiation. Okay, thermal energy we can measure as temperature. And we have 3 temperature scales. We have the Fahrenheit scale, or Fahrenheit, is how I remember how to spell it, Fahrenheit. We have the Kelvin scale, which is based on absolute zero. And absolute zero is the point at which all motion stops. There is no more thermal energy. And then Kelvin is just a measure of how much thermal energy there actually is. So there is no zero thermal energy. It's always going to move somehow. And then Celsius scale is based on water. The freezing and boiling points of water. So you can have below 0 Celsius because 0 Celsius is the freezing point of water, and it can get much, much colder than that. So to go between the two, you see I have my little arrows right here. We're either going to add or subtract 273 depending on which direction you're going. Okay, now when we add thermal energy to objects, we may change their temperature. And the amount of temperature and how much heat it takes to change temperature is called specific heat. Okay, specific heat is the energy that is needed to change the temperature of a substance. And that's going to be different for every substance. Some things have a high specific heat, like water. It takes a lot of heat energy to make it higher in temperature or lower in temperature. Some things have low specific heat, like metals. They heat up very quickly. That's why they're great for cooking, cooking pots. So the heat needed is mass. So a swimming pool would take more than a cup of water, right? How much mass you have. C, which is the specific heat constant, and that's different for every substance. And then delta T, how much change in temperature we want. Do we want to raise it 1 degree, or do we want to raise it 100 degrees? How much heat are you going to need to raise that temperature, and by how much? All right, and then heading back up to this potential, let's finish it out. Potential energy is energy that is stored. So something could happen, it has the potential to happen, it's not happening yet. We've got a couple types of stored energy. We've got gravitational and that is the energy that has to do with how high something is above the Earth's surface. It has the potential to fall because gravity's pulling on it. So to calculate it, we do GPE equals mgh, the mass of the object, or the gravity that's pulling on it, and then the height, how high the thing is. We have nuclear energy, which is stored within the atom, so inside the atom. Okay. If the atom were to undergo fusion or fission, then energy would be released. There's chemical potential energy, which is energy inside molecules. So if those molecules are combusted or digested, however we break those bonds in those molecules, so think like food or gasoline, then the energy is released from those bonds. And then we have elastic potential energy. And that is the energy that is stored in something that has been deformed. So you pull a rubber band and then it wants to snap back into place, or you push on a spring and then it wants to bounce back into the shape that it originally had. So elastic potential energy has to do with being deformed or undergoing deformation. So you might think of springs or rubber bands. And to calculate the elastic potential energy that's stored in something, elastic potential energy is 1/2 kx squared. K is the spring constant, the elastic constant there. That's going to be given to you just like the specific heat of something. It's a property of that substance. And then the X is how much it's deformed. If you pull on a rubber band a little bit, then you get a little bit of energy. If you pull way back on a rubber band, then you get a lot of energy. Okay? All right, so last thing is it's totally optional. Some people find that it's really easy to see things if they're organized by color. So last thing you might want to do, if this helps you, is to separate our ideas by color. So I'm going to make my transfer one type of color, my potential energy all one color, so it really sticks out when I'm studying what everything is and how it goes through. And I'm sorry I'm not being right on the lines. I'm trying to go quick so you don't have to just sit here and watch me highlight over and over. But you're welcome to do this if it makes better sense to you. I'm going to make my rules all the same color. Ooh, that was really bad. Work energy theorem, law of conservation. And now this is something that you can put on the front of your notebook. You can put it on your mirror at home. We can make thermal all one color because thermal makes me think of heat. Heat makes me think red. Red and pink, pretty close. But now you've got yourself a little study sheet that you can use to prepare. Okay, and again, we'll talk deeper about electrical energy in our next unit. We just wanted to kind of look at how electrical energy is transferred. Okay, all right, so there's your little study sheet. Hopefully that helps, and we'll see you again soon.